back to the She Manifested It podcast with Jessica Dumas,
Jill Featherstone.
And we're going to start with the book that we read last.
Yeah, which was The Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks, or AKA Abraham Hicks.
Abraham Hicks.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
That was good.
It was really good. It was a really good time travel back to, where it all began and stuff. But what I wanted to ask is, since you've reread the book, we went back and discovered some of the old lessons.
Mm-hmm.
How have you noticed that you've been using those lessons?
Oh my God. Actually, so much. Like, I feel like, so going back to the original book, and like I think I said last time, was anytime in my journey when I'm like struggling with something, I always go back to Abraham Hicks. So it's something that has like been a foundation for me. And since we decided to go back and read these books and then come together and talk about it, which is so powerful because it allows us to like reflect and kind of clarify with language, like what does this actually mean? But I think what it's really done for me is it's really strengthened my faith. And that's super interesting to me because I didn't know it was something that I would identify as faith.
Mm.
So over the last few months and reading that book and our newest book, and I think this whole like journey has really amplified for me what faith is, how much faith I actually have, because there was a time in my life where I was just like, what the fuck is faith anyway? Like, it felt like life was so shitty. How can you have faith?
Yeah.
Like, so I would say that that's been the biggest thing for me. And honestly, I feel like that's truly life-changing for me.
Yeah. I like that you're talking about faith because I remember in my early journey, that was the question I asked myself, was what is faith?
Did you also?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, I remember for a few years when I was younger, when I was a new mom, going to church because a friend invited me to church.
Mm-hmm.
And just over the years trying different things to heal and to like figure out how do I get happy? And this thing of faith kept coming up. And so I'm just like, this is how I've built my faith.
What do you, if you had to give it a definition, do you have?
Ooh, that's a good question. A definition of faith?
Yeah.
I think faith is believing in a power outside of yourself, that whatever you're passionate about is your purpose and it's going to happen. And nothing can interfere with that except for your like limited beliefs.
Yeah. See,
not believing in it.
And that is my definition of faith. But to add to that, it's also the belief that I have in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Is holding on to the belief that I can do something, or I am worthy of something, or I'm not alone, or there's a higher power that's always with me. That's my definition of faith. So it's like when you said, your own limiting beliefs,
mm-hmm.
it's like, that's where it ties into my faith. It's like,
mm-hmm.
I'm my own worst enemy, or I'm the only person standing in my way. Just me.
That's so good. And that's like, I'm happy to hear that. And I think that like over the years since you and I have become friends and, we have these conversations all the time, I think like recently I was thinking about how you do have that really strong faith in who you are. And even though I believe in what I do and my purpose, I think that's something that I still have to work on, is still my worthiness. After all of this, even like I think about all the women that I coach and I tell them how worthy they are. And I know that I'm worthy, but I think that there's still something that I still have to repair. But I think that this is like a lifelong journey.
It is. And that's why female friendships are important,
mm-hmm.
because when you're feeling down on yourself, then somebody like me or your friend Phoenix
mm-hmm.
can just hold a mirror up in front of you and remind you who you are.
Yeah.
And all of those things that you tell other people can be reflected back to you.
Yeah. So what about you? What has the book done for you?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so what the book has done for me is it's shown me that there's still things that I have to work on because I want to be a speaker. I want to be somebody that speaks on stages in front of a lot of people, and I've gotten that opportunity over the years. Sometimes I've done it and sometimes I haven't. And so last week I was given an opportunity to speak and I could feel the fear. I felt that fear kick in, and it was just kind of like in the back of my head constant. It was constant. It like kept on coming up, and it was worry. I was worried about it. And then all of a sudden I got an email saying that I double booked myself and I had to cancel my speaking engagement. And then I was like, oh, for F's sakes, I repelled it. Like I repelled
awareness.
Yes, I repelled that speaking engagement because I've done this before. I've done actually that I can recall. I've done this 3 times where I have repelled a speaking engagement.
Yeah.
I've gotten invited. I've said yes. And I worried about it so much that for whatever reason it canceled.
Yeah.
And then I was like kind of like relieved a little bit, but at the same time bummed.
Yeah.
So once I and this book allowed me to recognize that you're repelling it because the law of attraction, it works both ways. Right. You're not just attracting things in, you have the ability to repel things.
Right. And so focusing on the fear brings that fear and the fear of the consequence closer.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened.
Yeah. So once I recognized that, I was like, okay, I repelled it. I know I did. And if I really want this, then I can't attach fear to it. I have to believe in myself that I could do it.
Yeah.
And then I decided the next time that I get an opportunity, I am going to say yes. And I'm going to be good about it. And I'm not going to be afraid because I know I can do it.
I know you can do it.
Yes. And then just the other day, I got another engagement.
Yay.
And then I said yes. Like immediately I said yes. I booked, it's like a 2-day MC in June. And I said yes. And I decided I'm not going to
in 2026?
Yeah, 2026.
Okay.
And I'm not going to attach any fear to it.
Good for you. Good for you. I'm so excited about that. You're right. Being so like deep in this work with accountability, right? Like this, I think us doing this together has been some of that accountability.
Yeah.
But yeah, understanding what you're doing and how you're pulling it towards you or pushing it away.
Yeah.
So I did a 10K run since we talked last. I love how in one of our texts you're like just casually says I'm running 10K because I never said anything because I figured I was like,
yeah, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go run 10K. Okay. Well, I'm sitting here drinking a Pepsi.
So, okay, this run was hilarious. So it was at Clear Lake in Riding Mountain. Last year I ran the half marathon, and this year I decided I wasn't ready for the half marathon. Maybe next year I'll do the half marathon. So I went and I stayed at my mother-in-law's, but when I got there that morning to go to the run, I realized I didn't have my running bra. Did I tell you that part?
No.
Oh my God, I didn't. And so I almost turned around and went home because I was like, I can't run without a running bra. Like I need solid support. And, but I happened to go to the grocery store the other day and I just happened to have this tank top that I bought in the back of my car and it had like a shelf bra in it. And I was like, I could either turn around and go home and feel like a loser or I could just wear this bra and just see what happens. So I did the run. And not having the sports bra was fine. Like it wasn't the ideal situation, but it was fine. And I went by myself, so I didn't know anybody. I show up, like no one's like saying good morning to me or anything, you know what I mean? Like you're all alone. But I was like, whatever, like I didn't come for them. I came for me. And I typically run 6 or 7 kilometers a week. I'm trying to get my body ready for this. And the 10K and running by myself, like once I hit 8 kilometers, I was like, oh my God, this is hard. I want to stop. And so I'm very aware of like what I'm saying to myself is what I'm going to experience.
This is hard. I want to stop.
And that's what I was saying. And I was like, my body is tired. My legs are sore. And I'm starting to say all these things. And I can literally feel my body like weighing and pulling me down. And I was just like, I'm not going to, like, this is my choice. I get to control the outcome of this. I get to decide what this experience is going to be. And I was listening to an Abraham Hicks playlist, and it was Rampages. So it was basically just Esther Hicks like saying good things over and over with a little bit of music. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to run this race well. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel good in my body. And I started telling myself, I love that my body can do this. I trained my body to do this. This is what I do. And then I started like picking my body up, and it was almost like I kind of fixed my posture a little bit so that I wasn't dragging, but I was like running, and I was like, this is fine. I can do this. And I kept telling myself, and then I was like, I don't want to finish last. And then I was like, okay, what if I just started passing people? What if I didn't finish last? What if I did a really good time? And, really talking to myself in a kind way, and people started stopping, and I started passing people, and they never passed me again, because there's a lot of us that would kind of go back and forth.
You just picked up that mental momentum.
And I just kept going, and I did the best time. I ran the whole thing. I didn't stop or do any walking. And that was my mentality through it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow, I did that.
Yeah. And it wasn't just the physical, it was mental.
Yes, so much of it. My mental had to do with like my energy, and then my energy came out in my body. And it's all tied together. And I think that's something that we forget, and something that Abraham says all the time is you can't get to a happy ending without a happy journey. You have to, you can't work so hard and be miserable and then think at the end of it you're going to be happy. You're still going to be miserable because you haven't practiced being happy.
Yeah.
And being happy does take practice.
We got to write that down. We got to put that in the notes out there. That you can't have what did you say?
You can't get to a happy ending on an unhappy journey.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into our next book was Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. Okay. What did you think of the book?
I liked it. It was definitely broken down, easy to understand. Mm-hmm. So I think for people who are just soaking themselves in this for the first time, it's a good book. Yeah. I also think it's very derived from Abraham Hicks. I found that identical stream. Yeah. And she just sort of broke them down in a good way.
Yeah, I guess in a more simplified way. Because you know what I did find with Abraham Hicks' book is that it's almost like you had to decipher the language. Because of the language that she uses. That whole, you feel the way that you feel because of how you feel. And it's you have to almost...
Yeah, that's true. You have to, you're right, decipher it, translate it on your own.
Yeah, so I guess you're right. That's what this does, is kind of simplifies it, I guess. It simplifies it for a beginner, a beginning. It's very much a beginner's journey book. That's what I felt.
Yeah. And so I did like it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, same.
And I did appreciate how everything was slowed down and focused on the feelings.
Yes.
Because I think that's when The Secret came out, and we might have talked about this last time, it was very much about just think it. Yeah. And it is.
Just imagine that it's in your life and there it shall be.
Right.
And that doesn't work, all
I think it
work all the time.
It works a little bit. Yeah. It's like every time you're trying to manifest intentionally, it's it gets trickier and trickier.
Yeah.
And this is an important foundational part, is the feelings.
Is you also have to feel.
Yeah.
You can't just think about something. You also have to attach feeling to it, because the feeling is tied with the vibration.
Yes.
And she talks a lot about the vibration.
Yeah.
I felt the first maybe three chapters were just a lot of recognizing all the crappy ways that we think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I guess you need that reminder that you spend a lot of your time thinking about the negative, or you spend a lot of your days in the worry, like, how am I going to get money? And I really like that. She asked a question. She asked, what are your worries? What are your don't wants? Mm-hmm. And then she said that there's universal don't wants, and then there's personal don't wants. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, what are your personal don't wants? And then so I was thinking of them, and then I realized, and she said it, that those are universal don't wants, because everybody worries about money. Everybody worries about health. Everybody worries about relationships. Mm-hmm. Everybody worries about, how they look or feel. Right. And I was like, okay, well, I really got to dig deeper. What are my personal don't wants? That's what it really made me. It made me further dive into myself. Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also like really important for us to recognize what we don't want and to recognize how much we're thinking about that, because we don't realize that. And until we recognize that we're stuck in that pattern of negative thinking and negative expectation, which in many areas I still am.
Mm-hmm. We all get like that. Yeah, we all forget about that sometimes.
Yeah.
And that we have to remind ourselves, okay, we can stay here, but we can't stay here too long. Right. Otherwise, we're going to start the train of one thing after another.
Yeah.
Like, what they call the downward spiral.
Yeah. I thought it was really good for that, because I think going over it was just like, oh, actually, maybe I am kind of, and even if you think that, oh, I'm positive, oh, I have gratitude. I think this book will help you realize that, yeah, you probably do, but you could probably do better.
Yes. Yeah, because if you still have all of this gratitude and all of this positivity and everything is still shitty, what is it that you're trying to convince yourself that you have gratitude, or you're trying to convince yourself that you're positive, but you don't really feel it or you don't really believe it.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing, is your words have to match what you're feeling, because the universe can tell if you're bullshitting. Right? Like the simple example of like how, like the manifesting rule or the law of attraction or deliberate creation says, in order to have more money, you need to feel like you have more money. So you can't just be like walking around, oh, I'm so rich today. And like, this is where I think like fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
I think is good when it comes to like building confidence and manifestation, but not without the feeling. Like that kind of is something that we have to do with manifestation, is faking it till you make it. But it's not about like not just pretending on a mental level, but on an emotional level. What would it feel like? Mm-hmm. So, for example, debt or credit.
How do you fake it when you're literally in debt?
In debt.
Yeah.
And
it's worrisome, and it's always like, and it's constant, right? Because
it's constant because we worry so much about money. Like you said, it's a universal thing that we worry about. Any person that you talk to, for the most part, is going to say something negative about money.
Yes.
And those are the conversations that you kind of have to get away from. And I think there's also, and I don't know if we came across it yet, but there's also, I think it's called the law of detachment. So we haven't covered that yet in any of the books that we've read so far. But there's also a level of like manifesting, putting out like these wishes, these desires, and then just letting it go and not feeling like you need to control it. Because it's when you think that you're controlling it that can get out of hand. Because you're like trying to balance all these things, trying to do and make it work. And then actually one of the things I highlighted in here is that the conditions don't actually mean anything. So everything that we're living in this moment is a manifestation from previous. So if I owe a lot of money and I'm struggling, I need to accept that this is something I manifested before. I'm experiencing it now because, as Abraham Hicks says, there's a time delay.
Yep.
And actually, she may have mentioned it too. I don't remember. But there's a time delay from when you want something to when you receive it. And it's not about timing or being good or doing the right thing. It's about how well can you feel, like just accepting where you are. And I think like when it comes to money, in order to continue to receive money when you owe or things feel dire, you have to just let it go. Mm-hmm. The current circumstances doesn't actually matter. The current circumstance can be changed as soon as you change your energy.
Yeah. I always repeat, I turn it on a repeat. My circumstances will change. Like, this is only temporary. This is only temporary. My circumstances will change. And so what I do for myself when I'm just deep in financial worry, because it happens every year for me at the same time when I'm hosting my event, because I put myself on the line for a really, really big chunk of money. Almost $200,000 I'm responsible for to try and make this money. And I go into constant worry. But I know that if I do that to myself, I'm just going to attract more of it. But it's so hard because when I'm in it, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So what I do for myself is sometimes I will go into meditation because I have to bring myself out of that fear feeling. And I'm looking over at you have the emotional guidance scale on your table. And number 14 is worry. And then number 13 is doubt and disappointment and overwhelm and frustration. So, I have to take myself from worry and doubt, and I have to slowly work my way up.
Yeah.
And because I can't expect myself to go from worry to I feel wonderful.
Yes,
what a great day. And, it's, you can't do that. So you kind of have to take yourself out in stages. So I usually do that with a meditation. And I also noticed when I was reflecting while I was reading the book this is the time of year where I hit the gym really hard in my life.
And every time you work out, you always get deposit and table sales.
Yes, I do.
Yay! We're going to the gym and we're making money.
I do. I go to the gym.
Oh my God.
And because I'm feeling really good and my vibe, I'm vibing.
Yes.
And on my phone will go off. It'll ping. Somebody just bought a table. Or somebody just ordered something. And so now I have it in my mind that if I work out, I'm going to make money. I'm going to make sales.
Oh my God, I love that. Connecting that energetically is so powerful. And it's so true. Because I remember last year you would text me, I'm at the gym and I just sold the table.
Yes. And I'm so I would almost only go to the gym because I was so worried about money. And then after when the event was over, I wouldn't go. I'm
done.
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh,
but that's the mental part of it, right? Because going to the gym is hard. And that's how I look at it as hard. Yeah. So I have to not look at it as hard.
Right. You have to look at it as just letting it go. Mm-hmm. Letting it go that it's hard because it's
not hard. It feels really, really good.
Yeah, it feels really good. So it was so interesting that you said, what I'm experiencing is temporary. My circumstance is going to change. So I like that you said that because that's really good awareness. Mm-hmm. But until the step before that, for people who are well, how do I get there? They're really stuck in the place of my circumstance is shitty. My circumstance is shitty. My circumstance is shitty. What they don't realize is that because you're on, you put yourself into this treadmill. and you're stuck on that like rotation. This is shitty, this is shitty, this is shitty. So you create shitty.
Yeah.
But what you've done is you said, this is temporary, this can change. And I don't like, even just saying that, you could feel how the energy is different, right? And that's so important. That's how you go from, how am I going to pay my rent? I have to feed my kids. Like when you're in that routine of thought and you just think of all of those things, like, fuck, here's another bill. And now my phone's broken.
Yeah, my car's
broke, right? The more that you expand on that and say it and feel it, you're calling it in.
Yeah.
And so what you need to do is just say, and this is not easy, but both you and I have done this, is that's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to carry it. I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
And because you pointed to the emotional guidance skill, one of the things that I teach in my workshops is like the downward spiral is like holding, I always think of like a red balloon and you're like pulling it under the water. And so every time you say something negative, you're pulling it down. And that's a lot of, if you've ever played with a ball in the water and tried to push it down, it wants to come up. It's naturally wants to float on the water. And that's contentment. That's acceptance. That's just saying, you know what? It is what it is right now. This doesn't have to stay this way. And then to me, when I think of the upward spiral, it's when you get the chance to like throw the ball up or the balloon or whatever and let things be lighter. The ball wants to be in the air. The ball wants to be supported.
Okay, so say you're in financial debt. Say you're just knee deep in financial debt and then you're doing the meditations, you're doing the affirmations, you're getting yourself out of that negative feeling. So you're starting to feel a little bit better, throughout the day. And you're feeling a little bit better, but, it's still there. Like it's still there. So how do we fix that? And what I feel like is chapter 7, it answers that. And chapter 7 talks about inspired action. So when you start to feel good, when you start to get yourself into this feeling good state, that's when the ideas start to come. That's when your creativity starts to really take off. That's when the messages are clear. The messages from spirit, they come when you're in that feeling good state.
Yeah, when things are light.
And I'm going to give you an example. And this isn't even my example. This is actually your example. You booked yourself on, a weekend by yourself and you were enjoying yourself. Even though you had things weighing on your mind, you were allowed yourself to just be in a good space, sitting in the hot tub. And you had inspired action. And that inspired action was for you to create an Indigenous women's coaching program. And even though that message that you got was just kind of like contradictory to everything that you were on the path towards what you thought you were doing.
Yeah.
You were working on speaker programs. You were working on very high level, what's the word for?
Like
money.
Premium price.
Yeah, premium prices. But then you had this vision to create an Indigenous women's coaching program and put a very, very small price on it, a price that you wouldn't normally even think of.
And even when I think about it now, I'm like, why did I do that?
And it was how much, like 10 times more work than something that you would tie a really premium price tag on. So none of it made sense, but you acted on inspired action. And because you did that, you created magic. You helped all these women, and they're helping all of these other women. You've raised yourself to this level of, in your business, like you've leveled up in your business again. And it's because of that inspired action. It's like once you start taking yourself out of that place, that's when the ideas come to help you get yourself out of that debt or get yourself out of whatever it is that you're feeling.
Yeah, thank you very much for saying that, because it is truly And I know I've told you this, like when I look at the work that I've created, the training modules, I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of this work.
Yeah.
And you're right, like the women that have gone through the program, the testimonies that they come back and the things that they tell me about how their lives have changed from the work is just incredible. It's like, holy shit, I did that. Like I helped that. Like it's really incredible. But you're right. It's going from, I got to do this, I got to do that, and do, and push, and I got to make this work, right? It's going from that energy and letting that go and saying that's not working.
Because that's the repellent energy.
Yeah, because it's very needy. It's very masculine. It's like, I'm going to make this happen. It's very controlling.
Yeah.
And what I did was released all that, disconnected. And even though there are times where I feel like, I don't know if I should be spending this money to go away for the weekend, but I'm like, I fucking need it. My energy needs it.
Yeah.
Because if I can't be who I am if I'm in that, it's that survival energy. And I know that energy so well because it was there for years, raising 3 sons on my own. But then being able to let go of everything and then coming back from a free energy saying, okay, like God, creator, universe, like what's my next big idea? And then actually being open and hearing it and going, really? That's what I should do?
Sure?
Because I mean, these ideas kept coming slowly. Like, you should do a coaching program. And I was like, okay. And I kind of just let the idea go. And then it came back again, a coaching program just for Indigenous women. And you're going to train them to be certified coaches. And I was just like, really? And then one morning, I was like, okay, I'm just going to sit at my computer for a couple hours, type out the idea, see what comes out. And I developed a whole freaking program. And it was so easy.
And, when you put that first post about it into the world, took off like wildfire.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah, people were excited about it.
See, and that's where you have to get to when you're feeling that low vibrational state. You have to get yourself into that feeling better so that the inspired action can come, the creativity can come.
One of the things that I liked that Lynn did in the book was she talked about how our energy was open and closed, and she talked about using the valve.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious what you think about that. Did you connect with that? Like the valve open and the valve closed? Like, was that relatable to you? And have you used that at all?
Yeah, I definitely recognize that. It's because I notice that when I'm feeling good, I'm presented with opportunities. Like, hey, when I was on the plane, I'll give you a very specific example. When you and I had a conversation the night before, and I was kind of like feeling some negative energy. I'm like, I'm going to miss my plane.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know how I'm going to get there.
Like all kinds of things, like things that hadn't happened. And I was like trying to, just whatever. I was trying to sabotage my trip before I even got on it. And then you reminded me about what we're reading. And so I decided to close that valve. And I decided that I'm just going to send good energy towards my trip. So the next morning when I woke up, I felt really good. I felt really good about the day. I even made a get ready with me video on TikTok.
Nice.
I've never made one before. And it's so funny because it's like just has a ton of views, like a couple thousand views already.
That's great.
And so I did that. And then I had a really awesome plane ride. Okay. But when I got on the plane, everybody was responding to my energy, and I could tell the pilots and the stewardesses were just smiling at me. And the people that were on the plane, they were all like looking up and just smiling at me. And usually people kind of just, they mind their own business and they're just doing what they're doing. And everybody was smiling at me.
Nice.
And then I got a free drink on the plane, and it was just like a beautiful plane ride. And I felt so good, and I could feel people responding to my energy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good. It's so powerful.
But I can also turn off the valve too, because I know that sometimes when I'm thinking crappy things, I stub my toe. or if I'm thinking like negative stuff, I will literally walk into the corner of a table and give myself a Charlie horse.
Oh, that's such a good point too. Like one way to identify where are you on the scale, or where are you with like an open valve, open to receiving, is what's going on with you. What are you experiencing? Because I notice now, and I've noticed this for a while, but if I'm rushing, if I'm clumsy, if something's not going right, then I'll realize, like, holy shit, Jessica, like, fucking loosen up. Because, like, it's the rush, and it's just like, oh my God, I gotta get this thing done. And then I realize, oh, actually, no, I don't. No matter what it is, like, unless you're a brain surgeon or a heart surgeon, you have time. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Nothing is that serious. Yeah. And I think that's something that we need to learn just in life in general.
For sure. So in chapter 5, it talked about identifying what we do want. What are the things that we do want? And it said in there that in order to get ourselves into that high vibration, we need at least 16 seconds of focusing on what we want.
I love that.
So then I was thinking, okay, and it said to focus on what you want, and then think about why you want it, and think about how it makes you feel. And then if you can spend, at least get into that 16 seconds, you'll create that buzzing that she talks about, the buzz.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, holy shit, I've been doing that and I didn't even know. So in my Awaken the Spirit program, I have a section on goal setting. And in my goal setting piece, I have this one page that I always stop and I always tell everybody, do not skip this. Do not skip this page. This is really, really important, because I never used to do this before in my goal setting, but I do it now. And I do it in everything that I set goals for, small goals and big goals. I never skip this part. And that piece is, you state what you want, and then you say, why do I want this? What does it give me?
Nice.
So then you write down your answer, and then you look at your answer, and then you say, well, why do I want this? What is it going to give me? And then I do it a third time. And after I write my answer, I look at it and I ask myself, why do I want this? What does it give me? And I never set goals without doing that for myself.
Oh, I love that.
So what I realized is I'm actually inadvertently getting myself into that state, that vibrational state.
I love it.
Identifying what I want, why I want it, and allowing myself to feel all those good feelings of, this is why I want it.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to make me feel like. This is why it's important to me. And I like when I never used to do that, it's just like, it was very superficial. Like, oh, I want $1 million.
Right.
Why?
Right. Why?
Why?
And I think the fun thing about the why, and the thing that I had to learn, was your why doesn't have to be because it's, it's best for the world. Because I think for me, like, I was so afraid to say, well, I want it just because I want it.
Yes. Like who's judging you? Like it's in your own mind, right?
Yeah. So for years I wouldn't, because I'd be like, well, I can't just want it because it would make me happy. Like, yes, the fuck you can.
Yeah, right? And that's what I tell, when people are in my workshops and I tell them, like, write it down. I always tell them, I'm not going to ask you to share it with anybody. You don't have to show anybody.
Yeah.
I don't even care if you rip this up and you never see it again.
Yeah.
Because I want them to state the real reason. State the real reason you want this.
Yeah. And if it's just because you want it because it would feel good, that's good enough. Yeah. Amanda Francis says, if no one would be hurt, if no one would be upset, if no one would be mad at you, if no one is, has a lack of anything because you got it, why would you want it? Take away all of the potential fears that you have around it and look at, if it's just because you want it, that's okay.
Yeah. Because it makes you feel good, because, if I have money, then I can go on that trip to Aruba or wherever you want to go, and I can lay on the beach without having to worry about mountains of debt that's going to weigh me down.
Right.
Like, if that makes you happy to be able to do that, then What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? I'll give another example because this is fun. This is fun doing this. But let's say, for myself, I wanted to work less and make more money. And for a long time. And so I started that in like 2012, 2013. And I was like, well, why would I get that? Like, everyone I know works hard. Why wouldn't I have to work hard? And I thought, okay, well, if I work less and make more, I get to be at home with my kids. I get to buy us more nutritious food. They are, like, I can drive them to school in the morning. They have healthy food, so it's going to make them feel healthier. I get to buy them vitamins. I get to take them on a trip. If they want something, I get to buy it. It brings me pleasure. And all of those things are okay because the happier that I am. So if I have more money and I drive a nice car and I buy myself fancy coffee and I wear clothes that I like, I feel better. And if I feel better, I can give better. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's what we need to realize is feeling good makes you feel better. The more confident that I am, I can help that other person be so confident. And the more confident she is, she can help someone else. Yeah. Like, this is good for the world for us to have money.
Yeah, you're raising your vibration and that vibration ripples on. It's like carries on to other people because energy doesn't disappear.
No, it just transforms.
Transforms and transfers.
Yeah.
You know, and that buzzing, I want to say something about that buzzing. I think it's on chapter 6. So chapter 6 talks about getting into that buzzing feeling because you can actually feel it in your body when you're vibrating high sometimes. And it's like that buzz that she talks about. Mm-hmm. And
I felt it as I was sharing that a minute ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I remember one time when somebody was saying, like, you know, you can only do things in person because you can't translate anything online. Mm-hmm. But then I was thinking, like, it's not true because there's been so many times where I've watched a video and I've, like, felt that feeling. Yeah. You know, you get that inspired, buzzing feeling and you feel good. So it doesn't always have to
I don't believe that either.
In-person stuff. But, you know, I was thinking about that buzzing because when I was reading this book and, you know, I read it the first time years and years ago. So I have been incorporating these things into my life. And I didn't realize that how I was doing it until now. Like, it's kind of coming full circle. So about 5 years ago, I employed a gratitude practice into my life because she says the way to get that buzzing feeling is to think about the things that bring you joy. Think about the things that make you happy and focus on those things. No, don't focus on your lack. Don't focus on the fact that you have no money. Right. Focus on everything around you. Well, I have a beautiful house. I have a beautiful car. I have a beautiful family. My kids are healthy. I have wonderful friends. You know, I focus on those things. So 5 years ago, I started a gratitude practice where every single morning before I touch my phone, before I get out of bed, before my feet hit the floor, I say thank you for everything that I have in my life. And I just say thank you for my health. Thank you for my husband. Thank you for my children. Thank you for my parents. Thank you for Jessica. Like I say those things and it literally takes me 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. But I would say for the past 3 years, I've not missed a day.
Wow.
I have not missed a day. Even if I have stayed up all night and went out or did whatever.
It's such a habit.
It's a habit now. Wow. Like, it took about 2 years to get there.
Yeah. But
now I have not missed a day. Every single day I start my day. Every day. Yeah. I will not touch my phone unless I've done that. So what I realized is that I have been creating that vibration at the start of every single day. God, I create that for myself. And so it's no wonder that I have so many wonderful blessings in my life because I'm doing that for myself.
Totally. Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing that because I think that, like, sometimes people might look at, you know, anyone, someone like you or I, and go like, oh, they just get everything handed to them, or they think they're so good. And it's just like, it's not about that at all.
And it took work.
It takes work to rewire your mindset, create habits like that. Those are the habits that change your life.
Yes, and it has changed my life. And it's helped me to the point where I still have shitty days. Like, I still have shitty things.
I'm still human.
Yes, but when the shitty things happen, those habits have allowed me not to stay there very long. I stay there, I feel it, I recognize what's happening, and then I tell myself, I can't stay here, because if I stay here, it's just going to destroy me, and it's going to just take me on this downward spiral.
Yeah.
So I have to find a way to get myself out of that feeling. But that gratitude practice has allowed me to not sweat the small stuff.
Yes.
When people want to come at me first thing in the morning with their ugliness, or, trying to argue or whatever, I'm like, I don't have time for this. You're not going to come in and destroy the peace that I've already created for myself this morning.
Right. Because it's like we almost get this shield of awareness and kind of protection that helps you realize that's not even that big of a deal.
Yeah. And what this book reminded me of is, okay, I do this for myself first thing in the morning, every single morning, but I don't only have to do it first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it throughout the day. If I'm having those negative feelings, like if I'm, having problems with my kids, because I'm a parent of teenagers that are going through hormones and stuff, and sometimes we have problems. So when I get in those moods, instead of having it just take me right down, I could use these strategies during the day also to bring myself out of there, so I don't have to, wallow in self-pity and stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. And those habits are so important, because life will continue to happen.
Yeah.
You'll continue, you're still a human on the planet, and that's what these tools are for, is for navigating that.
They're tools.
Yeah.
They're tools to help us live, a more joyful, more peaceful, more happy life.
And it's all about a choice, because you can wake up in the morning and choose not to do it, but you're choosing to do it. And that's so important. And
I'm choosing also to do it on the days where I do have those fears, those lingering fears, like, how am I going to get this paid? This thing is due today. How am I going to, but I still choose on those days to start my day with gratitude, focusing on the good things, because that creates that feel-good feeling for the rest of the day. Yeah.
I love that you do that every single day. It's amazing. Yeah. I do it most days, but I mean, there's probably a day for sure that I miss. Yeah. And I know it. I know what I do now is, before I get out of bed, I start tapping. So EFT tapping is currently the thing that's helping me change my life, with regulating my nervous system and normalizing a brand new life, like normalizing things that I could only imagine, and being open to things that I can't even imagine, being open to miracles.
So you mentioned something earlier about, there's things that aren't working in your life anymore, and you're recognizing that they're pulling you into a lower state of vibration. And, you're actively recognizing that these things don't serve me anymore. They don't work for me anymore. So I am going to start redirecting my life in a different direction.
Yeah. And I love I love knowing that I have the power to do that, right? Like, nothing is happening to me that I can't, I might sometimes feel like I don't have control over it, but I know from all of this experience is I have so much power to change my life. And so does every single person. But you have to be open to it.
Yes. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
All right. So let us talk about our next book.
Yay! I'm so excited about this book.
Okay, I'm going to let you introduce the book, because this is your pick.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh my God. Okay, so this one is A Happy Pocket Full of Money, and it's by David Cameron Gakandi. And this one is like deep though. Like, I just want listeners to know, like, this is real deep shit. But this is also for people who still are wondering, well, how does manifestation actually work? Is this actually working? What's actually happening? Because there's a lot of science in here.
Yes.
So it breaks it down, but also in a simple way. And you don't have to follow it and understand the science of it. But I think for those of us who have a brain that's like, but why? But how?
Yeah.
This book will help kind of seal those things up, because it's going to give you some examples of like just how this actually works and how this is actually real. I'm so excited. I love this book.
I'm excited too, because you introduced me to this book, and immediately it spoke to me. Like, there's few books that were like just the first few pages, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
wow. But I will admit too, it is a lot of, there may have to be a lot of rereading just to let the concept sink in.
Right.
But this is such an important book because it's about money, and like, let's not kid around here. Like, money is important, and money is the root of a lot of our stresses in life.
Yeah.
So we need to start talking about money. Let's understand money.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be such a good book, and it is more advanced.
Yeah, it's more advanced. And so I think for anyone who is reading it, don't be afraid to skip past something, or if you don't get it, just go, I don't get it, and go to the next chapter. Because I've already read this 4 times. And I'm going to read it again as we're reading it together. But it's going to touch base on quantum physics, time, so
Quantum jumping.
And people, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like phrases that I think they've heard and they're kind of curious about. A lot of it will come from here. But it's also about like taking away, here's a simple example, taking away the fact that, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, money was literally paper and coins. Money was, you saw it, it was physical, and no wonder that's why we're taught that's what money is.
Mm-hmm.
But this really takes it from the physical to, money is actually not even real.
The vibrational. Like, money is currency, and
It's a
currency
currency.
is energy.
It's an energy, but also, and I don't know how much the banks say that they have like the world has in the bank. But if everyone went to the bank and withdrew that money, it actually doesn't exist. It's all just numbers. So what are numbers? Numbers are just prints. The fact that we can receive and send, hundreds or thousands of dollars through a digital item, like our phone,
Wallet, yeah.
not touching money, just pressing fucking buttons that are made of lights. None of this is real.
Yeah. And you remember the other day you said, like, if I were to stand in front of a mirror holding $500,
You immediately double it.
now I have 1,000.
Now I have $1,000. And so it's bringing it back to the energy of it and the intention of it. Feeling is going to be an important part of it. But it's also breaking down what you already think you know. Because we're trained, and this is, I don't know that everyone's going to agree with what I'm about to say, especially you, the university professor, so it'll be interesting. But I believe that our school systems are designed to make us all think in a very strict and simple way.
I 100% agree with you. 100%.
Because our schools are not designed to teach us how to be truly creative, expansive. And we're all everyone watching this video has gone through that very same system that's structured and designed to make us workers.
Yeah.
At the very low, the lowest level of society.
Well, it's a 150-year-old system that hasn't changed. everything else in the world changed. Everything except the school system.
The curriculum. Yeah. So anyway, it's really like interrupting those thought patterns of what you think you know.
Yeah. So like the fact that you've read it, repeatedly, it's because you have to let that information sink in so that it starts to change those thought patterns that have settled into your mind.
So the first time around is like interrupting the pattern, like, what? What do you mean? How could that be?
Yeah.
And we may have talked about this before too, but I also, like, one of the things that I talk about in public speaking is, like, when we receive new information or when we're trying something new, our nervous system gets like dysregulated. And it's because we're building new neural pathways. And to me, that's why like we need to read it on repeat, because it's like feeding a new animal.
Yeah.
We're like,
so get ready to be disrupted with this book. I'm so excited.
So excited
for this one. Awesome. All right. We will see you in about 2 weeks, and hopefully that you'll have the book read with us.
Make some notes in it. Ask some questions. Check out the notes underneath the show.
Yay. Awesome.